Hey, this is Dylan with Beyond the Sights. If you follow us, then you know we are working on a Pistol Caliber Carbine or PCC project. And if you've seen the previous article on the website, I laid out the reasons for choosing the AAR platform in 9mm and explained that I am building two versions to compare the value for your money to see if it makes sense in the end. Remember, the intended purpose of these builds is competition, so some features may not be important, while other features are very important. Let's look at three different lower receivers. Up first, we have the new Frontier Armory C-9 Billet lower for Glock mags. This lower retails at $170. Now, NFA also makes the same lower for a few other companies, like Joe Bob Outfitters for example, but they call it the Spartan 9mm and sell it at $150. Next, I have the Palmetto State Armory Billet 9mm Glock Lower, which I picked this up for $130 as a blim. I believe their normal price is around $170, but they don't keep live pricing on items that are out of stock, so you'll have to check their website. You may notice the similarities between the PSA lower and the NFA. I do believe NFA makes this lower for PSA, as the similarities, there are several of them and the roll marks are almost identical. The last item here on the table is the JP Enterprises GMR-13 9mm lower. This lower is priced at $400. It's easily one of the more expensive lowers on the market. All of these are billet and dedicated for use with Glock mags. Because they each use Glock mags, they also come with the mag release pre-installed. All of these lowers also have the integrated trigger guards. All the other parts are basically mil-spec, so your upgraded trigger for safety should work just fine. They also all come with set screws for the bolt catch and the rear pin detent spring, so putting these together is simple and easy to do. No hammer or punch needed. The NFA lower has a dark and glossy finish, where the PSA and JP are your standard matte black anodizing. The magazine wells are pretty generous. NFA having the largest mag well, the PSA and JP are both pretty similar in size, but the JP has a lot more material surrounding it. Now, none of these lowers have the last round bolt hold open feature. Well, not built in the lower anyway. New Frontier Armory and Joe Bob do make a dedicated upper with the last round bolt hold open. So you can add that feature to any lower that doesn't if you choose, but you must use their dedicated upper. Some companies do have it integrated in the lower, but however it's achieved, they seem to be finicky and not 100% reliable. Remember, the intended use of these guns is competition, so that feature isn't really needed. And let's be honest, most people pull the trigger again with the bolt back anyway, so it's not really something that'll save you a bunch of time. And in competition, I'll have my reloads planned, so most of the time I'm reloading before the mag and the gun are empty. Yes, you can still lock the bolt back like a normal AR by pulling the charging handle and pressing the bolt catch. Have you heard of monopotting? It's a term used to rest the gun on a surface by the magazine. Basically, resting the gun off the mag to help stabilize a shot. Well, sometimes guns will jam when this happens, if they don't have a magazine over insertion stop. The JP has it milled into the lower right there, just like a factory Glock handgun frame. The NFA and PSA choose to incorporate this feature into their ejector. This is why the ejector is so much taller on these guns. So it actually hits the top of the mag on the feed lip right there, and that is your over insertion stop. Here's the NFA lower. You will notice that it has a polymer mag release, but it works very well. They are a little stiff at first, but once you get them broken in, they work great. Here's an ETS mag with some dummy rounds. Slides in, drops free. Here's a factory Glock 17 9mm magazine. That slides in, snaps in tight, and that drops free. That's the NFA lower. Let's move on to the PSA lower. So here's the Palmetto State Armory. It has the same polymer mag button and the same design. That's why, another reason I believe it's made by NFA. So here's the ETS mag. It's a little tight, but as it wears in, and it drops free. And here's the factory Glock mag. Snaps in, and that drops free as well. Lastly, we have the JP. It has a little different mag button design. As you can see, it's a little wider, but its stroke, you move it a lot less. With the ETS mag, slides in, real smooth, drops perfectly free. Factory Glock mag, snaps in, drops free as well. Appreciate you guys watching. Check us out next time. Thank you. If you're following the PCC review builds that we're doing, then you know I'm building two guns. I want to use the JP lower as a foundation for the high-end build, and the NFA lower for the budget build. I'm currently also getting the parts list together, so next time you see these, I should have them built, and we'll talk about the parts and cost to put these together. Please remember to check out the website for the latest reviews, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you.